Welcome to The Informant, the podcast that talks about anything and everything. We cover from sports, religion, politics, social, you name it. I'm your host as ever, Doc McLeod. So without any further ado, let's delve right into it. Good day, my good people. I hope I find you well. Finally, back kumachando. Right, can I light that? Nevertheless, let's go straight right into the issues that's very critical, very important for us to be up to date with. I loved my experience back home, and I'm back here again in the diaspora, but I'm here to explain something regarding the arrest of Job Sikhala. I know many people have heard it being squishwashed all over, and people giving their different views. But I've got an account that I was given, and I want to believe this account is more accurate than ever. Reason I'm saying that, it's an account that I don't get people to be saying much. What actually happened from my point of information, Job Sikhala went to meet up with people, and he didn't have much of a relationship with these people. He says he's saying he met these people when he was doing his book launch. But a person of his wisdom and a person of his stature, a person of his political standing, it's very questionable for him to start to really engage into serious dynamics of discussions with people that he had just met for less than a month, if not two. Correct me if I'm wrong. The book launch was just done just about 2-3 months ago. To me, it's recent. Then all of a sudden, he has got a relationship that close with people dragging him to a special site for them to have a closed door meeting. As much as it was an open place, a restaurant of some sort, I want to believe he should have started to sense that things are not well on his side. A political figure, the one I know, and the real players, seasoned players in politics, they take time to open their doors to you. They do, number one, what we call profiling, where they want to find out who you are, where they want to know what it is that you do, where they want to have a proper track record of what you have been doing before engaging with them. So it takes time before the doors are open. But Job Sikhala just met these people just barely a month, if not two ago. And all of a sudden, he is engaged in serious talks. Thank God that someone made business out of the whole case. And I'll tell you how it unfolded. When he went to South Africa to meet with these people, and were having a discussion, somebody was recording with a mobile phone. Not the CCTV. That's a false sold out story. There was no CCTV in that area, from what I am told. There was no CCTV. It was just a plain area, but somebody was using his mobile phone to record all the events. And somebody saw everything transpiring, from the people that planted the things in Job Sikhala's vehicle, the assumed explosives, which are said to have been registered or made or manufactured in Zimbabwe, as according to what is being said. That person was Job Sikhala's savior, because his case would have been moved from Section 1 to Section 5. The minute a case is moved to Section 5, it means to say it's a serious case. It's classified within the Terrorist Act, it's classified within the Murder Act, it's classified within the highest degree serious cases that can be considered within the courts. So because of the outing of that recording, which picked everything that was transpiring, that was his exit point, and that became his savior. It did not take place that way. Today, we would not be talking about Job Sikhala. My question, he might be having grievances with the government. He might be having grievances with the people in the opposition, the ruling party. But one thing he needs to be told, you cannot run it alone. And if you see other players shying or tucking their tails in between their legs, not wanting to be involved, consider this. They might have weighed in the consequences thereof that come with challenging certain behaviors, with challenging certain strategies, and with challenging certain political decisions. This journey is not meant to be a one-man fight. It's a group fight. If you can't pitch up with the right people, I always advise, stay back and be like everyone else. Let it be a national fight rather than an individual fight. I, for one, personally believes and feel strongly that Job Sikhala is trying to give one back to the government, maybe because of the time he served in prison. What I advise Job Sikhala is to sit down without any bond of contention, sit down, consider, and make sure that you get counseling and healing to the process. Once you step into the politics, once you step on the political arena, such things do happen. This is African politics. And it does come with that. You cannot be a politician when you are not prepared to go through all that. And you cannot stand in opposition when you are not prepared to suffer all those consequences. The biggest fight that I once saw was during the SADC visitation of Zimbabwe, just before the elections. Remember, I spoke about this in March of 2022. And then 2023, SADC came, the SADC Troika, wanting to check the preparations of the elections in Zimbabwe. There was friction between Zambia and Zimbabwe. It was on the public domain, public forum. Everyone saw to it. Words were exchanged. Threats were made. I remember President Hakainde Hichilema claiming that he's going to expose the wartime records that Zambia kept in regards to Zimbabwe. That was what were called extreme claims, and that was a serious claim to the political stability of Southern Africa. But fast forward, day before yesterday, President Hakainde Hichilema came to Zimbabwe, and you see him walking with the president, presenting together with the sitting president of Zimbabwe. What does it mean? The bridges that we thought were bent were repaired, and the friendship is back on track. This is nation-to-nation differences that have been mended. If this can be mended, why can't we mend our own political challenges within our nation of Zimbabwe? Why can't we sit and table things? Why can't we dialogue things? Instead of planning, plotting, and influencing uprising. We don't want destabilization of the national economy of Zimbabwe. While some people are happy about what's happening on the ground in the nation of Zimbabwe, some people might be aggrieved. It's high time we sit back, relax, have a very thorough think through it all, and see, are we prepared to have a destabilized economy of Zimbabwe? I think we've gone through it all. I think we've suffered at every level, but I think we are on the recovery path. Not only on the recovery path, we are on the progressive path. The pace at which the recovery is taking place might not be the pace that everyone else wants. But let's raise an addendum. Let's reach an agreement. Let's table these issues. Every situation needs to be addressed. What I saw when I went to Zimbabwe is one. Some people are doing things to show off. Instead of us working towards healing, instead of us working towards unity, instead of us working towards peace, as a nation of Zimbabwe, we have got to come together and deal with these issues. If the relationship between Zambia and Zimbabwe has been funneled in and has been put together, I want to believe the very same principle or policy should be applied from within Zimbabweans. Let's try find each other and help build our nation, regardless of party affiliation. Grievances are still going to be there, regardless of who is at the realm of power. But unity is what we should be advocating for. Let's all move in one path. Let's all move in one spirit. Let's all move in one unit. Once we do that, for sure, Zimbabwe can be a great nation. What I see in Zimbabwe as a nation, it's a nation starting to take the steps in the right direction. It is the pace that might differ. Other people would want it to run very fast. Other people are feeling that it's being tracked by a few people. But why can't you jump on board and help put your engraft in your ideas to making sure that the nation of Zimbabwe moves in the right direction. I think it's high time we stop fighting. All this hypeness of people trying to say a lot of things, it's not helping anything but just causing pain to people that's following. And anything that comes with negative connotations on headings is what will get a lot of views, because we are looking for a gospel that's sweeter in our ears, that tickles our ears, and that tickles our emotions. Let's grow out of hate and start to work together as a nation of Zimbabwe. Job Sikhala, my last words to you and my plea to you is sit down, relax. And all I advise, work through yourself, get counseling. After counseling, there's one thing that you also need to do. Make sure that you work to be embedded in the system and help with your ideas from within, because anger will not help you in any way. Instead, what I foresee, if it continues the way it's going, from your side, you are actually now going to be in more trouble than before. Watch and mark these words. It's just words of advice. Zimbabwe, Zambia, we are back again together as one working unit. The borders have been opened. The transportation has now been allowed. A lot of things have been allowed now between the two nations. And the youth training is being embedded. Like I told you, the blueprint of how Zimbabwe has managed to work, especially with sanctions sitting on it, has been an example to other neighboring countries who have always relied on external forces to help influence decisions from within their countries. Right now, Zambia have seen that Zimbabwe has managed to build its own wealth people from within the nation who are now going to aid, if not help, at every dimension with the progression of the building of the nation of Zimbabwe. What we are not seeing, people from outside are seeing. Our pain and our anger is not very much shared with people from outside. All they are seeing is things that are being posted, especially on social media, through our media houses. Once you see those things, other nations are still dreaming of. We might be laughing about trabubblers, but other nations are also drooling over trabubblers. People will come to me and say, you have never seen South Africa. I've been to South Africa. Well developed. It's like the America of Africa. Everything seems to be on point. But they are also now trying to fight to free themselves from outside powers so that they stand for themselves and develop by themselves. Zimbabwe is starting to do that. I want to believe some people are so aggrieved that it's only working with a certain few individuals. Obvious, you would want somebody who's supporting your view. How can you bring somebody to oppose your view? The energy that you are driving it is the energy that you'd want to reflect on every person that's around you. Let's turn a negative eye and start to weigh on a positive eye. Let's look into the vision and let's contribute positively to the building of the nation. I'm very happy with the relationship that has been forged between Zambia and Zimbabwe. Above all, I'm also looking forward to people in the diaspora. Many people have established businesses in the diaspora, and many people are doing well abroad. It's time now for people to form consortiums and build their own nation. Not only are you building your own nation, you are also creating jobs for your own people. You are the biggest investor that Zimbabwe is looking for. So if you step back and start to invest in Zimbabwe, you are the employer that the graduates are looking for. Above all, you are creating wealth for yourself and wealth for generations to come. We are that generation that is to break that. And I so encourage every person to move forward and stop looking at the negative and start to work positively in the development, not only of themselves, but of the nation of Zimbabwe. And for the generations that's in you and generations to come. I hope what I'm saying makes sense. Anger is not being accommodated anyway. You can veto it to another person, but it will not help. But once you change your line of thinking, you will start to see that progressively you start to move forward. There's places that I visited. Some places have transformed. Some people are doing great things. Some people are doing mighty things. Quietly and behind the scenes, a lot of investors are doing a lot of things in the nation of Zimbabwe. A lot of things are happening. If you go towards the Borodo area, going towards Domboshawa there's a very lovely development. You'll love it. To be honest, you would like it. Go whichever way you want to go outside of Harare. You'll see that there's developments that's happening outside of the city, spreading the pressure from just the Harare city center, the CBD, up to the outskirts. And the outskirts, there's now more life than ever expected. Other people are digging their wealth from outside of the capital city and outside of the towns and cities, where especially the mining sector, the agricultural sector. I traveled the length and breadth, looking at what people are seeing. At one point, you tend to sit and think, is it still time for us to remain in the diaspora? Or is it time for us to step back into our nation and enjoy the fruits of our land? You can mourn from within the diaspora, but you are not enjoying what's for you on the ground. It's high time people change their mentality and start to focus to re-establish themselves back home. The migration starts not to be going out of Zimbabwe, but to be going back into Zimbabwe and reclaim our wealth and our sovereignty. Hear me and hear me very clearly. These are just words of positive. These are just positive words to every person who is like-minded and who thinks positive, that they need to establish themselves back home. Journey of 10,000 miles only starts with one step in the right direction. And I encourage you to start that journey now. As of now, I don't have much to say. Let me just settle back. I've just come, landed in the United Kingdom once again, and I'll be updating pertaining to what's happening back home. Have a good day, and I'm out.